EMF
angry?
is so red. I think I'm pissing her off.
You're a demon.
Oh no! These ghosts were not shy. I'll tell you that. What are we doing? Do the intro, Vanny. I'm too tired. What's up, everybody? Nycove the Fox here, and we are at the San Carlos Hotel in Phoenix, Arizona. And if you don't know about this place, to keep it short and simple, it's a haunted hotel, and it's haunted as frick. And we proved our point last night because we stayed over Halloween night. This is the next morning. It's technically November 1st now. But you guys are going to go back in time and see a bunch of this footage of a tour through the whole hotel and all of its creepy haunted places with some stories. And you're going to see lots of like phasmophobia shit where like our EMF readers are spiking at 5 consistently. They still do at this time of morning too. Like it's consistent. Like at 11 a.m. in the morning, we're still getting EMF spiking up to 5 in the same corners of the room. So we have some consistent friends in our room. And there's also spooky stories that Goat Mom has to tell. She's off camera right now, so please go check out her channel to get her perspective, because we're staying in different rooms. I'm staying with Ozza Makes, and Goat Mom is staying with my father in the room just behind us, and they had all kinds of crazy stuff going on when they were trying to sleep. We slept like babies. But if you want to hear about the crazy things that happened over there, check out Goat Mom's channel to enlighten yourself. And you guys will see more details about the story probably in the videos of the tour we went on. But basically the main like shebang about this hotel, like the main story that everyone knows it for, is there was a young woman who was like 26, 22, in her 20s, a very beautiful young woman. She checked into this hotel waiting to meet her love, and I think they were going to elope or get married, and basically he got cold feet and ditched her. So she got really depressed, and she also had, I believe, an underlying illness with her lungs. She couldn't breathe well. She was having all these struggles in her life, and this dude just up and leaving her kind of just really sealed the deal for her depression. So our EMF is spiking up to 5 right now. That's
Every
cool.
time I try to like hold it up though, it just goes.
It goes back to
down.
green.
Like, it has to be like right.
It has
here.
to be right on top of something, yeah. And the camera, the lens is extended, so it looks a lot closer than it actually is, but the EMF is actually really far away.
If I go by the camera.
And the funny thing is, the
by
closer
the
it gets to an electronic, the lower the reading gets. So that's the funny thing. When we put it up to an electronic, it actually goes lower. They're here for the ghost stories. They're like, man, I love ghost stories. This woman was super sad, going through a rough part of her life. She checked into room 720 on the 7th floor, and at about 1:15 in the morning, she sent out like 3 telegrams to like 3 different people, including the manager of the hotel.
Yeah, the manager of the hotel, and then 2 different like popular newspapers of the time, so that she could like basically get her story out. I think she was kind of trying to throw it in her ex-fiance's face, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I haven't actually read them, but
yeah. The EMF is so red. I think I'm pissing her off.
She's angry. I can't.
So her name is.
Hold it like way over here for it to be in front of it.
But she's on the edge of the bed with you.
No, yeah, she's like right here.
She's right here. They're also, I'll get to that later, one thing at a time. But my VANNY mask, it's a huge hit with the ghosts, but I'll tell that story later. So this lady is known as Miss Jensen, and she basically at 1:15 in the morning sent out these messages, kind of like little suicide notes or apologies or explaining kind of what was happening. One of them kind of said something along the lines of like, I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm through, like, bye. It's solid red right now.
Peaking.
Hold on. While I'm talking, this is solid red. Like, not even faltering. It's like legitimate. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, that's creepy. Yeah, someone's angry that I'm talking about this. I'll zoom out so you can see a perspective to where it is in the room. There are no electronics nearby. Like, the closest thing is way over there, and in order for this to light up on an electronic, it has to be on top of it, like an inch away at least.
Yeah, like we're pretty much in the middle of the room as far as like there's nothing on the ceiling above it, but we're not near the ceiling. There's nothing on the floor or under the bed.
No. And you'll see later too, in the beginning when I first got footage of us walking into this room with the EMFs, and now it's gone. Wow. Oh my god. Oh, now she moved. She moved. I don't know why I'm saying she. I'm assuming your gender. I apologize. But you'll see in the footage when we first walked in here that this little area in front of the foot of my bed, is super consistently active, especially this corner with the heater. Like, we consistently had a level 5 reading in this little, like, corner of the room. So anyway, as I was saying, this lady sent out 3 messages, and then at 2:45 in the morning, she climbed up the stairs to the rooftop, snuck around the penthouse, because there's a penthouse where the owner of the hotel was living with his 3 kids. She gets up to the roof, sneaks around the penthouse, and by some miracle, I guess none of the family saw her. They were probably sleeping because it was 2:45 in the morning. Because the corner of the building she leapt off of is literally right by the windows of the penthouse, like a foot away. It's like right there, and you'll see in the tour.
And like you have to walk past it going up the stairs to the rooftop. There wouldn't have been any other access for her probably from her floor to get up there. So she had to walk past all the windows because she jumped off. They said they found her like at the entrance basically of the hotel. Like she kind of just right above where you walk into the lobby of the hotel, that's where she jumped off.
Somewhere around 3 a.m. people reported hearing a scream and then a really loud thud because she hit the ground. So she kind of landed around that corner. I'll get a shot with the camera in the general area where she landed so you guys can see. So around this part of the street on the sidewalk is where that woman landed. Somewhere between that corner and right where I'm standing. But yeah, so the main story about this place that people talk about the most is that woman. But there are other cases of hauntings here because this also, before it was a hotel in the 1920s, used to be a schoolhouse. In fact, I think it was the first schoolhouse ever built in Phoenix. So it was like this dirt floor, single room schoolhouse. And there was a plague that went around in which a bunch of children died and got sick. So there was also a case of 2 or 3, I don't know how many children, a few or a couple children ended up climbing and falling into a well and drowning as well, and that's in the basement. You'll see that in the tour. But yeah, there's just a bunch of cases of fun things here. So plenty and plenty of hauntings, and we got quite a bit of it on camera. These ghosts were not shy, I'll tell you that. Because I've been here more than once. I came here in July, like a couple years ago. It was not nearly as active. Like the only place, coincidentally, which I really thought it would be otherwise, but the hallways were dead.
Yeah.
Nothing. And like the hallways are usually what freak people out. They're like, ooh, long, scary hallways. And the hallways on the 2nd floor, which is the floor we're on, have mirrors on either side. So I totally thought that like we were gonna get so much activity in the hallways. There's nothing. All the activity has been in our rooms or inside other rooms or in really specific pocketed areas outdoors. And the EMF readers, the ghosts were probably like, ooh, toys! Because like they were lighting up like Christmas trees all the time. Like there was hardly ever a moment in the night where it was green. Like it was always at least yellow or red. And we got some video of the EMF kind of responding to what we were saying because we identified what a no meant and they kind of like stayed in the yellow, and then we identified what a yes was and that was when it spiked up to red, and then we were kind of like asking them questions, which leads me to VANNY. So since it was Halloween night, we all kind of brought our Halloween costumes and we went out to dinner in our costumes. I got a few compliments. In fact, one woman in the lobby knew who I was, so I gave her my business card because she has kids that are really into FNAF. So that was fun. This VANNY mask was a hoot and a holler to the ghosts here. Like they would not stop touching her. And I'm not saying like they picked her up and moved her, but like I'm saying that I think they touched her because we had the EMF, and anytime we hovered it over her, it was solid red. Like all these ghosts were just like, whoa! They were like, what is that? Like, and we would literally ask them, because it would be like a little in the yellow, and then I'd be like, do you like my mask? And it would be like, red. Like, what is that? Like, they were full out responding to questions about her. And the rest of my costuming too, which I had spread out on the bed, and you'll see the video, but the rest of the costuming and stuff spread out on my bed, if you hovered over any of it, it was solid red. Like, they were just going through my stuff, looking at it. They're like, what is this girl into? She's got some weird clothes. But like, I think they were just really either scared by or fascinated by Vanny over here, because she was a hit. Like, she was a constant source of a level 5 reading. If you like my mask, go red.
Look at it go.
Look, they got so excited they don't even let me finish. They're like, yes. I made it myself.
There, no hands. That's crazy. Do we
The
have a-
mask is so active. They love it so much. If the mask is scary to you, go red. It's a consistent red, so I can't tell when they're answering or not. And then the reason I know it wasn't a fake or a fluke was because at a completely different time of the night, she'd be in the same spot, and I'd hold the EMF over her, and there would be nothing, just green. But yeah, I just found it funny, like, how much they enjoyed Vanny. Like, she was like a celebrity, man. They freaking loved her. That or they hated her, I don't know, but she just was a source of a lot of activity.
I don't know if you've seen like the old-timey pictures of like really old Halloween costumes and what they used to look like, but they were creepy.
Scary.
But I wonder, because this is kind of similar to some of the like homemade paper mache masks that people would make sometimes.
Yeah.
So I wonder if
True.
it was almost like familiar, like
Maybe.
like not exactly, but just in like a, oh, that's kind of creepy in how we used to make stuff, like a homemade mask. That's really weird.
So I was like talking to the ghost. I was like, yeah, I made it myself. Do you like it? And it was like, blink, it would go up to red. They were like, yeah, I like it. It was so cool. Like, I was talking to the ghost about my cosplay. They were digging it. At least I think I was. It was awful convenient how the thing was responding to what I was saying. The vibe that I got wasn't like at all scary. Like, I was never scared. Like, honestly, the ghosts here, at least the ones that were in our room, were very chill and just very like good vibe.
Goat Mom had a very different experience in their room.
Yeah,
but-
so again, polar opposite experience over there. Check out her channel to see her point of view, because apparently her room had some more aggressive things happening. Her room was probably more like a phasmophobia episode. But our experience in our room, which is funny because it's literally right next door, but it's such a different experience.
Behind that wall.
Yeah,
Right
behind this wall there are demons. Oh yeah, and by the way, we are in room 220, so we are directly 5 floors below 720. So like, we're in that whole portal area, like that vertical portal area of 720. So maybe that's why we're getting so much energy, is because we're right below
where she was
staying. Which in the tour, when we went in that room, because we went on the tour and brought our EMF readers so that we could like see if anything would happen. And oh my god, almost every single room we were in, it was spiking.
Yeah.
And when we walked into room 720, it was solid red the entire time. Like, it barely faltered. Like, there was a lot of activity in that room. I definitely think the ghost we had, or at least one of them, because my mom said she felt several in here, but at least one of them had a really funny sense of humor. Like, they were having a good old time with jokes. So, like, we even asked them, we were like, do you have a sense of humor? And it spiked up to red.
I was like, yes.
Yes, I do.
I do. Thanks for noticing.
Yeah, so we had a little jokester in here. If you're gay, make it red. If you like my Halloween costume, go red. Oh, thanks. I worked so hard on it.
Can it go red?
Show me what a no looks like.
Green.
Okay, calm down. Show me what a no looks like.
There's so many in here right now.
One of you decide, what does a no look like? Okay, I'm going with yellow. Flashy yellow is no. Okay, show me what a yes looks like. Alright, that was easy. That's funny how they're like almost... Wow. They like light up at the same time. I wonder if we
are
just
a
have
good
a
connection.
That means that they're consistent.
yeah.
It also means that we're good.
They're literally
Chain
synced up
lines.
right now like a Christmas light show. And I mean, one of them is sitting next to a Polaroid, but still, again, around electronics, these things never light up this much. It takes a lot. So yeah, this room was actually really pleasant. We slept very much peacefully.
Yeah,
no problem.
I know I was conked out. I don't know if you heard anything, but nothing woke me up, that's for sure.
No, so even if anything happened in here during the night, I didn't hear it, so...
It wasn't aggressive enough to...
Yeah, we're heavy sleepers. Maybe the ghosts were just seeing how many things they could do when we were
Really,
asleep
they were in our
before
ear
we-
like...
I know.
And they're like, they just won't wake up. I guess we
They're
give up.
like, they're hitting pans together, bang, bang, bang. They're like, wow, I think they're dead.
Yeah,
they're gone.
I think these bitches are just dead.
They're just spent. Yeah. The one room that did have kind of a negative vibe, like there was an angry ghost, or at least the first time we were here. The second time around, like this year,
It was pretty empty.
it was actually pretty inactive, which was shocking even to the dude who was doing the tour. He was like, wow. He was like, this is really uncharacteristic of this place, because this room is usually super active, if not the most active. But there's an exercise room, which is, guess what floor it's on? It's on our floor.
Right down the hallway.
Yeah,
of mirrors.
literally, yeah, down the hallway of mirrors
And right
to hell.
across the hallway from that there's like a weird corner in the end of the hallway that's like, I think the original schoolhouse doors or like we don't know what's behind them because they're locked, but it just has a little plaque that talks about the schoolhouse, so we assume that those were like the original doors that were here from the schoolhouse. But they're just really old, antique, like mint green.
Did anyone else see that? I tried to get a face right here a second ago. That's why I was like doing this like an idiot.
I wondered what you were doing.
Yeah, no, it
I
just got a square here all of a sudden. I'm like, there's a face. Cool.
Alright, joining us.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So my camera has autofocus to detect a face. So usually it'll just pick a face that's in frame and focus on it and track it. Unless you like tap on the screen on a specific face, then it'll stay on that face. But if you don't specify, or if it just decides on its own that it wants to focus on a different face, it will.
You ate it. Oh my god, look.
We should probably say bless you, because when
Bless
you
you.
sneezed, when
It
you
went
sneezed-
into me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that ghost was like, zoom! She sneezed, quick, her soul left her body. They're touching your butt now. See, it's the butt ghosts.
That's okay.
The EMF was spiking.
Like right behind me.
Yeah.
The Iggy, because I sneezed on them. Oh no, they're over here.
Went
They're
back
at
to
the end of the
corner.
bed again. I was like right at the end of the bed, which is like kind of spooky if
Yeah.
you think about it, like someone just standing here
Standing
staring
at
at
your
you
bed.
while you're sleeping.
And it's been like that since we arrived. Like, this area at the end of the bed is just constantly red. Okay, if you are an adult, make it red.
You're a demon.
Oh! No, you don't! No!
My legs just got full goosebumps.
So as you can see, even at like 11 a.m., these ghosts are still
I'm
popping.
pretty active.
Yeah.
Anthony, Mrs. Chelsea, the other guy wandering around here, he's Daniel, so you'll see him in a little while. But I've been here at the hotel for just a little over 2 years, and in that time they have kind of somehow made me the resident expert on all the history and the stories and things like that for the San Carlos. So as I go along, I'm telling my stories. I know I can get long-winded, so and especially with a group like this, if you miss something and you need me to repeat it or you have questions, just stop me and ask. I'm more than happy to go back and clarify anything like that. I see you've got your cameras out, so take all the videos and the photos that you want, and we'll have some fun. So, to start off with, the hotel was, the property that the hotel sits on, back when Phoenix was just a little, just a little dusty town, a spot on the map. The original Phoenix School was built here on this site. They constructed that in 1874. That served them until 1879 when they built a two-story structure. They expanded that several times over the years before they finally, they outgrew it in 1916. The property was then, lot was then bought and was with the intention of putting a hotel up on it at that time. That fizzled out. So in 1927, Arnold Hurd and Dwight Harris started construction on the hotel, and it opened its doors March 20th, 1928. So 92 and a half years later, here we are.
Wow.
It is the oldest operating hotel in Phoenix. And at the time it was built, it was the first in a lot of technological advances for the time. For example, it was the first high-rise to be built with hand-operated elevators in it. The copper on the doors here in the lobby is original to 1928. So other things about the hotel, it is built to be fireproof. It is built completely of concrete and chicken wire. So if anything does ever happen to it, it's going to get scorched on the inside, but the building itself will not go anywhere. It is here. They built it with a penthouse up on the roof, which we'll get to after a while. They had card rooms, ballrooms. And it was a popular midtown gathering spot for Phoenix celebrities as well as motion picture stars from back in the day. If they got a star on the sidewalk, either out here on Central or on Monroe, they have been a guest here at the hotel. We have several suites named after some of the bigger ones. We've got Marilyn Monroe, Spencer Tracy, Carol Lombard, Mae West. Mae West is probably my favorite. You'll see why I'm going to get there. But yeah, there's just, that room is just kind of, to me, it's almost over the top and kind of representative of who she was, just real out there. So, any questions so far? If there are no questions out here, we're going to work our way into the Ghost Lounge.
Wow.
The bartender,
It's like a speakeasy.
So is everybody familiar with the legends surrounding the hotel? As far as whether it is or is not haunted? Okay, for those of you who are not familiar with it, here's the story. Right after the hotel opened, there was a young lady that checked in here from Los Angeles, and the story goes she was supposed to marry her boyfriend, who was a bellhop at either the Adams or the Westward Ho. That one's up in the air. The point is, she was here to marry her boyfriend. By the time she got here, he called it off and was so upset over the doomed love affair and depression and everything else. She was staying in room 720. At about 1:15 in the morning, she wrote out 3 different notes. We have excerpts from them in that framed information thing there. The 3 different notes, one to the Phoenix Undertaker, one to the Los Angeles Undertaker, and another one to the hotel manager. But anyway, so distraught over this love affair, she writes out these notes about 1:15 in the morning, 2:45-ish. She makes her way up from her 7th floor room up to the rooftop past the family living in the penthouse, because that's where the owner lived. And she stood on the Monroe side and she jumped. So they say she is the guest and checked in and never left. Now, whether, people always ask me, is the hotel haunted? Have I experienced anything? Can I actually pin it down to Miss Jensen? No. Have I heard things? Yes. A lot of times, they always say the witching hour is between 2 and 3 in the morning, so that's when the spirits are most active, however much that you believe. But for my personal experiences, and it always happens about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, most recently was right after the pandemic started and everything was shut down, and I'm absolutely the only living soul in the building. 3 in the morning, I'm sitting out there doing the night audit shift, and I hear a sound like that. It can only be a bar stool moving across these floors. It's not the first time I've heard that sound, but the other time was, I don't know, a year or so ago before that, and I was, again, working the overnight shift, and I may or may not have been maybe resting my eyes on that couch over there. Point is, I was there. But at the time, when I heard that noise, I just assumed it was the Seamus people closing up and getting, and cleaning and doing their thing. So I just talked about that and probably shut my eyes and went back to sleep for another minute or 2. But again, that sound, that makes it very distinctive. When I heard that, I came in here, and of course, everything was just as it should be. There was no reason for anything to unload. So I just assumed that if the ghosts were having a party in here, I just let them do their thing, and I go back out to the front desk and sit back there and do mine until my shift ended at 7. Other times I've heard things that sound over there by where the restrooms are. There was a loud crash that came from back there one night, and again, there's nothing that would have fallen. I went and checked all the closets, everything. It's just as it should be. So yes, the hotel definitely has its own life, I think. Throughout the hotel, as we go through it, you're going to see a lot of old pictures. Like that one behind you is the rodeo parade in 1937. And even though some of the storefronts of the buildings, the facades have changed a little bit, most of those buildings that you see in that picture are still standing. The only one that isn't is the Mark Palace Hotel, which is over there where the Chase building is now. But where it says Owl Drug, that was where Subway was, and of course there we are, security building behind us, and then in the distance to the western level.
What clearance indeed.
I got it. He's got it there. What did you spit out down here when we were doing our
The laundry facilities. Wow.
Okay, so we got everybody here? All right, so right after I first started here, has everybody seen the picture of the three creepy kids over here now?
No.
All right, so yes, and right over here, and on the back side of the elevators is the employee staircase that we used to come down to the basement here, which is all fine and well. Except you remember when you start a new job, they always like to pull something on the new guy. So I started, had maybe been here a day and a half, 2 days tops. And they said, they needed me to come down and grab something from housekeeping.
Oh, good Lord.
Pillows or something like that. So here I come, just not thinking anything of it. I walk down those stairs, and the first thing I do is around the corner, I'm greeted by those three. And you know, it probably took me a good 6 months before I could walk by that picture without going like that, you know. So those are the children of the original owners of the hotel. And so keep that in mind is when we get up to the roof and thinking about that when Miss Jensen walked by the family living up there, you know, had the three little ones living there at the time. So keep that's part of that story when we get there. Meanwhile, as you can see on the walls here, we've got all these old mine boards. Because the owner of the hotel, General Malikian, back in the 70s, he toured an old mine in Florence, Arizona, and he negotiated the purchase of the boards. He brought them down here and intended to install them. He was going to make a disco-themed mine shaft bar kind of thing.
Okay.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a good idea, right? But, you know, I see several people here that are over 5'8", so, you know, can you imagine there aren't people down here with the lights going and everything like that? And, you know, this and that right there, low clearance. So, yeah, it's...
My apologies, I'm not a ghost, don't worry.
The hotel was built with radiant heat for a heating system with a boiler, and we still use it. But people say that they have heard, you know, the sounds of footsteps, kids running up and down the hallway, because the well that they dug for the school, which is back over there in the corner, the legend has it that there was some kids that were, when it was a school, they had fallen in the well somehow and they drowned. So a lot of people have heard the sound of the kids' footsteps running up and down the hallway down here, and the sound of a ball bouncing. That I have not yet heard, but I imagine I will at one point or another.
One day.
Yes. What I was starting to say was, when the hotel was built, you know, they tied into the well that's over here, and that was what provided the hotel's water supply. They also tied that in then with the compressor, and that's how they had the air cooled in the rooms.
This is part of the original well?
Yeah, that, you know, they capped it off, and we just keep it there for, I don't know, historical reasons, anything, you know, for want of anything else.
Some like with the water. Really? Really? Yeah. Interesting. A lot of these, like a ledger.
Okay, so just in case you didn't see it, or you weren't able to see it down when we were in the ghost lounge, here's that the little information board here talking about Ernesto Miranda. So when people call here and ask, they're asking about our rooms and things like that, the two most common rooms that they ask for are which two, Chelsea?
720 and the Marilyn Monroe suite.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So room 720. That's the one that Miss Jensen was in. That's when, if you go on YouTube, you'll just type in 720 Hotel San Carlos. You're going to find all kinds of videos on it. And other than the notoriety of that's the room that she was in, and then the Paranormal Activity people have recorded in there, as you see, it's just a regular room. And again, the rooms are kind of small, so just everybody, go in, take a look around and whatnot, and then just file back out so everybody can see it all at once. The readings were just off the charts, their lamps were just going.
There's one spot in our room.
Well, we're in 220, so we're directly below.
True.
Oh, true.
We're
That's
directly below, yeah. With the reading. It's off the charts. Look at her. That's good. Look at that. Let me record. No electronics around us.
There's a message.
Yeah, right.
Maybe it's from Miss Jensen, you never know.
That's right.
People are always asking me when they ask about room 720, can you bring in your equipment, your spirit boxes and EVPs and things like that? I tell people, go for it. Don't destroy the room, don't damage it, and don't be a disruption to the other guests. But other than that, that's what you're here for. Bring it in, and when you find something cool, if you get it on video, send it to me. I want to see it.
Absolutely.
And I figure working in a 92-year-old, supposedly haunted hotel, at some point I'll get a good video that I can send like to Nuke's Top 5 or whatever on those ghost hunters that are on YouTube. I want everybody to make sure that when you're going up the stairs, you grab onto the handrails because the stairs are steep. When you get up to the roof, it is not by any means a level walking surface up there. It goes up and down all the time. There are pipes that are capped off, so watch out that you don't twist your ankle or break a leg or something like that. Because if that happens, then we got to fill out paperwork, and we got to call the boss. And everything else.
Incident report.
Yeah, exactly.
Leave them up there. Just leave them up there. They're never here.
Well, as long as we're on the same handrails and watch your step up there, come on.
My friend Amy went to live in this.
You paid for it. Nice feeling. It's cool. Yeah, it doesn't look like gold at all. No, it isn't.
Somewhere over here on this side, I imagine it's kind of like you went out that door right there and just blew away because she was kind of, her newspaper account, she was right in front of the door. You need any readings up here?
Oh, yeah, right here. Ooh, especially here. Someone's having a meeting.
Are there any spirits that wish to communicate with us?
Yeah.
Better be careful what I ask for.
Yeah.
We'll all be running down the stairs.
That's kind of cool. That one's pretty busy.
Wow. Nothing happening.
Okay, that
Yeah, the EMF goes crazy by the windows.
That's very squishy.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you like smell smoke when you walk in there.
I've done things that other people were amazing.
It just feels good. It's these kept on pipes, those are the things that I worry about when I do people up here. We'll all meet back up on the third floor. Follow me.
Can we take the phone?
This is the actual room she stayed in.
every time or just one time? Or?
She was a guest here numerous times. The reason she liked this room because as we go out the other door and go out the double doors here to the immediately at the end of the hall, that leads out to the pool. So that way, back when she stayed here, she could just slip out there and sunbathe on the pool. The buildings wouldn't have been there to bother her or anybody else, you know, so she had a certain degree of privacy there.
Right.
Wow.
Cute. Getting some readings. Oh, yeah, it's going crazy right here. It's just going on. Oh, wow. It's going nuts in front of the mirror. It's brutal.
True. I mean, you can if you want. The water's a little cold now, but...
Yeah, I'm from Arizona. You can't swim. Too gamble.
Imagine the soirees they threw up here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, look at those.
And then it says something similar, I think it's air-cooled rooms or...
Yeah. They have the ladders are back there. Ladders weren't there.
And it is just lit.
Wow.
Well, no, I take it back. Maybe it was just the top one.
That's weird. Pool party ghost.
Got a satellite dish up top. And it goes away, but it's just right over here.
Yeah.
Does yours do it right here? Look, right here. Yeah.
Seamus McCaffrey's Irish Pub.
I mean, my niece too.
As long as I remember, I've never been there myself.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
It's
The first time we stayed here, we saw where it went. I was like,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Summer's like little Carla.
No, into the exercise room. Yeah.
In my opinion, this is the creepiest room in the whole building.
Yeah, you know what? A little funny story. Last time we were here, we brought a tape recorder, and when we came in, we just played it. We didn't hear anything. We got back up to the room, and it said, hide. And then we heard, what was the other thing we heard? It said,
It said, I think she knows.
oh, I think she knows.
Yeah.
It's clear as day to hear it.
And then one of them said, holy shit.
Yeah, then you heard,
Sure that wasn't just me. Because a lot of people have had experiences like you have, where they bring their meters in here and they're just and it's off the charts. This was in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. This was the manager's private apartment, and so a lot of the photographs, like the one of the three kids downstairs in the basement, when they renovated this to make this into the space we see it now, they found lots of just boxes of photographs and stuffed away in closets and stuff like that. So that's where a lot of the historical pictures from the hotel come from. But yeah, this room with, are you getting anything now?
not yet. Not a hit. That's eerie. There's usually at least a flicker.
Yeah, that's unusual for in here.
They're gonna jump out and go, ah!
Right. Well, then from here, we're going to exit to the left, go down the hallway, and we're going to go all the way down to the very end of the next hallway. The general is, I don't know, is he 95, he's between 95 and 97 years old. He's still very much alive. He was, when World War II ended, he was in the room when the message was relayed. In fact, he was the one that Eisenhower picked to relay the message back to Roosevelt that World War II had ended. He was 20 years old at the time, and they picked him because he was the youngest man in the room, because they wanted him to tell that story for the rest of his life. And here we are, 75, 76 years later, and he's still telling that story. One day I was doing my normal desk shift on the daytime, and I stepped to the back, in the back office for maybe a minute, if that. I don't know how he managed to sneak in without me seeing him coming on the camera. But for a 95-year-old man, he can move pretty quick. And so I came out, and there he was sitting in, there was easy chairs there, and then I went, it was kind of like I just turned around like this, and all of a sudden there was just a walking tour group that just happened to come in at the same time, and so he was telling them all the stories about the hotel and and how he was the one that ended the war, as they say. So that's why we've got this floor dedicated to the armed services. The next room we're going to go to is, as I said when we were first started off, this is my favorite room. I just like the way it's decorated. So come see what you think.
Oh my God.
Oh, I can already tell by the carpet, the zebra print carpet.
Oh wow.
Heck yeah.
Oh my.
I think that's what
Paisley
kind of
goes
makes it for
red,
me.
that's
really
nice.
does.
And it's just because that cut to me is just a little over the top yet, and she was too, and the zebra print carpet, it just kind of
Fits perfectly.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Usually you'll pick
Come on, you
something.
gotta beat me
Right,
on.
usually right there in between that chair and
There
the
you
couch
go.
right there, you should be picking up something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it hit red. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
I got an adorable
Yep.
here.
Look at that.
Same.
Yeah, look at the picture.
I don't know. I would imagine probably not. But again, in 2003, they did a discard.
They're playing cards.
They're playing cards, it's fine.
Facebook, you take super scientific quizzes, I found out how Fisher sold. Mine's been around since, and this is our governor's suite. It's the only suite that we've got that actually has the king bed in it. All the others either have two beds or a single. Last year, the first ghost tour I did of the season last year, we'd gone into the May West suite, and so you walk in that connecting door, you got that chair over here and the couch is right here. I was standing here, there's a gentleman standing right here beside me, taking pictures, and to the naked eye, everything looked fine.
Yeah.
As he stops taking his pictures, and he's standing there, and he's scrolling back through them, and there you can see all the orbs. And on that couch in the May West suite, there was somebody sitting there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That one
This is a
actually,
really
I
good
can,
room.
yes.
Meeting room.
Okay, the doll is unnecessary. Really unnecessary.
Oh, that's not cool.
Extremely unnecessary.
But around here, we call her Emma.
Emma. There's the E name I was trying to think of, probably.
And because Emma is, well, let's just say she's seen some things. And most of the year, she lives in a box high up on a shelf in the back office behind the front desk. But knowing how the front desk staff, myself included, are all creeped out by her, here about 2 weeks before October started, I got her down and I just started moving her around. You never know, you walk in, you never know where she was going to be from one minute to the next. So,
I like that.
so I can't help it, the devil may do it. But,
Did you notice like the little portal you had on your ceiling that they plastered over?
No.
Yeah, see, I'm telling you, that little dark spot in the ceiling is like a portal.
So that's, I just got the goosebumps. So that's why it's from up there down to here.
Mm-hmm.
Goosebumps.
So last time I was here in July, the first time I was here, they had Autobiography of a Yogi in this glass case. And if you're unfamiliar with why I'm bringing that book up, it's because a chapter of it is recited backwards and distorted on Night 5's phone call in FNAF 1. So I thought that was pretty cool. But this time, I don't think it's in there. I don't see it, but just figured I'd throw that in here because I thought that was pretty neat. And all the old keys.